Oh, you know what I should do? I
Woohoo!
should hit record on Audacity. That would help.
That may be helpful, yes.
That would make it so we can have a podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Melissa is dressed up again this week.
Yep.
It is Halloween Eve. I'm not. I'm in normal clothes, so it is the Hamburglar and his normal friend, as
More
Melissa said.
specifically, I'm the glam burglar.
Oh, the glam burglar. Excuse me. Thank
Yes.
you for.
Why do you think this mask is
correcting
made
me.
out of lace? I went to a fabric store. I bought lace for this.
Do you think the Hamburglar has like normal friends? just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go hang out with Jim.
He
Whoever
probably
Jim
does
is.
have a D&D group. He plays a rogue. That's what like gets a lot of the burglary out of his system.
Okay. Hamburglar with a D&D group, man, that is.
Okay,
That's
no.
kinda wild.
Let's work through this. Hamburglar, rogue,
Okay.
grimace, paladin.
Yeah, I can see him trying to be some kind of knight, because I feel like he doesn't want to be put in the box of like, oh, I have to be some tank, or I have to be the like big strong guy. Like I'm gonna be the knight in shining armor thing, right?
I feel like he wants to do magic. Birdie is a monk. Ronald himself, man, Ronald's probably just like a generic fighter.
That I can see him trying to be a wizard, like some kind of like extra out there helpful wizard. Like, look, kids, I can do magic. And then he's just never helpful. It's like, no, it's wrong spell, Ronald. Okay,
And I guess Mayor McCheese
myself.
is the DM. He's DM McCheese.
DM McCheese, that works indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 118. That took me a while to get out. Of the Whatnauts Captain's Log. My name is Kyle Springer, and I am joined, as always, by Melissa Wilkinson. Melissa, how are you?
I'm good. I made some sangria. I went to
your McDonald's
McDonald's for the costume, and then I took the Diet Coke, drank half of it, poured it out, and this is all sangria now. So I'm ready to party.
Man, all I have is apple juice.
Well, this
That's
is
it.
a lot of apple. It's mostly apple cider and a lot of wine and brandy and assorted fruits and cinnamon sticks. I bought cinnamon sticks for this.
Good stuff. Yeah, that's something. Where do you get cinnamon sticks? Like, where are they in the grocery store?
Oh, dang. At my Schnucks, they have a little section of spices by the produce, not like in the baking aisle with the other spices in bottles. These are like, this is where you get like your vanilla bean pod and your cinnamon stick, and I guess your like nutmeg nut that you grate if you're a fancy chef.
Interesting. I don't think I've ever seen them in my local grocery store, so it must be
You gotta look for them.
Small section. Yeah, or
Yeah, they don't make a point of it.
Yeah, like a section that's super specific of just like, if you really don't need anything from that section, you're probably not going to be going there.
Yeah.
All that often. I don't know, but Sam has been in the chat.
Sam!
We had some difficulty with our stream kind of right as things were getting started. Things are much better, but it looks like every so often we're still dropping out. Kind of ish. Who knows? It did look like Twitch updated a bunch of their stuff. So there you go. Well, my week has been okay. It's been
Oh.
interesting because the past 2 days, we've kind of been getting hit with the like edge of a hurricane. I don't remember
Ooh.
what one it is now, but it came up through the Gulf. And yesterday, on Thursday, the school got closed early.
Oh.
Yeah, we got all classes shut down at 4 p.m. and stuff like that. Uh, it was just like, hey, there's a lot of rain out there. You guys might have to go get your kids or do something. So we're shutting all
Yeah.
classes. All employees can go home. All that stuff. Sam says she thinks it's Zeta, tropical storm Zeta, which Jesus
Wow.
Christ, they've gotten all the way out there.
Oh no.
Man, I don't know. It was kind of wild because yeah, it was raining all Thursday morning. It was pouring, and
Oof.
then when they closed things down, it immediately cleared up and was like, oh, okay, sunny skies. That looks fine. And then last night it was raining a ton as well. And today was fine. Seemed nice outside. It was kind of chilly, but that was it. So that's been it. That's been the week here. It's just been like rain. Not
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, it's been raining here a lot too. I dig it because it is the days leading up to Halloween. But if this goes on much longer, yeah, I'm gonna get burnt out on it. Today was sunny. Today was a nice break.
That's good. That's good. I have weird memories of Halloween both being like extremely hot. Just like I
Ooh.
cannot be in this costume. I'm sweating. It's sticky. Like all of that stuff. And ones where it's freezing. And it's just like
Mm.
I am in like a thin layer of whatever fabric this thing is, and I'm freezing my ass off.
Oh
So
man.
yeah,
Yeah, I remember it
it's
mostly being cold.
back and forth here.
Yeah.
So are you because you were in this apartment last year too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so. You've been in
This is
this
Halloween number 3.
apartment for for a bit. What is the trick or treater situation like?
I don't think I've ever seen any.
They don't
I
exist.
think no, like we live pretty close to like a very nice suburb, so I imagine the kids, their parents just drive them 5 minutes up the street and take them there.
That makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
they'd
I
rather
mean,
go
I
there.
have candy. I don't think any kids are going to wander on up, but I'll have a pumpkin out there and I do have candy, so I am ready.
Yeah. We usually have all the lights off and stuff, and we usually put caution tape up on our front steps so that no one will go up to the door. Because every
Ah.
time someone knocks at the door, the dogs go ballistic, and
Mm.
it just if they were constantly coming, it would just be like, ugh, they're barking at everything and they won't stop. Please be
Mhm.
quiet. But it's good. It'll be a relaxing night, I think. Right now, we're just I'm planning on doing crossplay, our video game
Uh-huh.
podcast, and that's it. Playing video games all weekend.
Mhm. I'm going to make
So
some hot dog mummies and
yeah, you
drink more
mentioned that
sangria. Yeah,
last week.
just
More sangria is good.
yeah, like
Uh,
I guess a mummy exists all the time. Like you could make
yeah,
a hot dog mummy any minute of the year, but Halloween is when they really shine, and I've been looking forward to this for several weeks.
yeah, indeed, indeed. So I had a question for you
Yes.
for last week that we didn't get to. Let me open up our notes here. I should have these open. Captain's log topics. Here we go. Um, I didn't write the one that I had down. I kind of forgot what it originally was. But I know it
Okay.
had to do with Chucky because a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, we had like a game night at our
Yeah.
house, and we had the more modern remake of the Chucky Child's Play movie thing.
Yeah.
Um, And oh boy, it's a bad movie. It is not good. It's really cheesy. It's more funny than it is like scary or spooky.
I think that is the original Child's Play. Like, I think that just is what the property is.
It probably is, but I remember it when I was much younger, and it was just like, oh, this is actually like there's this creepy doll, and it's trying to murder people. Like it looked scary to me as a young child, and then now almost being 30, I'm just like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is so over the top and stupid that it's just like, this is laughable. But I think what I wanted to ask you is, what do you think if they had to, like, if Chucky never existed, right? And then someone came up with the idea of this Child's Play movie, what would the toy be?
Oh, okay. Like if we had to pick a toy from our existing human universe instead of inventing a new one?
I mean, you can kind of invent a new one, but what would it be? Like, would it be another of those, like, almost lifelike American Girl doll style, you know, big doll things? Or would it be like some little small Street Shark action figure that I have on my bookshelf back there? Would it be something like that? Would it be Andy from Toy Story, who's like made with stuffing? Or would it be Furby? Or something else, like a tablet?
I think you mean Woody from Toy Story, because I don't think I've ever... You said Andy. Oh. I've never seen anybody make a toy out of the non-toy characters from Toy Story.
That would be pretty scary. I totally meant Woody, not Andy.
God, imagine the kid who says Andy is his favorite character.
I want the Andy toy.
Oh, they don't make that. Just find him a brunette boy child action figure and we'll have to lie.
Generic brunette action figure.
Yeah, yes. Make sure he's a tiny cowboy and tiny spaceman to go with him. Otherwise, how will we prove it?
Or here's another outlandish one. What if it's one of those, like, miniature size Jeep toys that they can get and, like, ride around
Tiny Christine.
in? Yeah, something like that. Like, what toy do you think it would be?
Dang, I do have to hand it to the Furbies. I think they are uniquely creepy in a way no other toy is. And they're non-mobile. Like, a Furby doesn't really have legs. It sits there. Like, no Furby has any motion to it except for the mechanized parts that make, like, the eyes and the beak move. So I'd be curious to see a Furby-based horror movie where they deal with the Furby being entirely stationary. Like, it maybe, you know, you turn your back and suddenly the Furby's on the other side of the room, but you don't see the Furby move.
See that.
It just
that
speaks to you.
That would make sense. Yeah. It just... all of a sudden is there, and it's like, how did you get here? You can't even move. And like whenever it's showing it, there's no it's rolling on its heelys or whatever it uses to move around with. But that would be an interesting
What if you haunted a Hot Wheel, like even smaller than the Jeep?
Even smaller, or is it just Toy Story, but it's only like cars, like the Hot Wheels, and they're all worshipping the big one, the one that's built Tonka Tough.
There's a hierarchy of little toy cars.
Yeah.
No, I'm just picturing just like silent personality list, just a bunch of evil little Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
Just rolling around your house, just causing mischief.
What's that? What's that story? Is it Gulliver? The dude who like goes to that place and he's like giant?
Yes.
Yeah. The one that they
but you're being
with Jack
rolled
Black.
over by you're just being rolled over by a lot of Hot Wheels?
Yeah. That would suck. That would suck. that would be an interesting one. I like the car one, especially since we watched Rubber on
Yes,
the
that's
review
exactly what I'm
show,
picturing.
the movie about the murderous tire.
Yes,
Um,
Robert.
Robert the tire. That movie is ridiculous. But yeah, like I kind of imagine it just being like some kind of smaller action figure.
Uh-huh.
Like I could almost see it being a Lego piece, almost just like a haunted
Like not a
Lego
mini
piece.
like not a minifig, just like a 2x2 little brick.
Eh, I feel like it would have to be a like humanoid one, like one
Okay.
of the actual characters, because that way it can emote and stuff, right? But I don't know. Weird to think about. Like if I feel like at the end of the day they would want something that is like, okay, we want to make this seem somewhat lifelike and have like
Uh-huh.
emotive faces or be
Yeah.
able to talk, which then we just get into that weird like Cars territory that has mouths,
Yeah, they have saliva. They must.
right? Who knows? Good stuff. Did you have a couple of those for me? Because I think you mentioned them last week too. That you had
What?
a couple.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I do have some
Halloween-based-
Halloween-themed conversation starters.
Let's
One
do
I
it.
came up with this week is I thought it would be a fun game to come up with unlicensed generic Halloween costume names for characters we've been talking about on our assorted podcasts.
Okay.
Because Podcast The Ride did a Patreon bonus episode this week about bagged Halloween costumes. They're talking about like the
Bagged
Beetlejuice
Halloween
knockoff
costume.
named Juice Demon.
Okay.
You know, the Austin Powers knockoffs named like Shag Spy. All those.
Bug Hugo. Right? Is that what's the Spanish word for juice?
Oh, I don't know. I took French.
What's the
I don't know the French word for
French
juice
word.
either. You know what I do
Useless,
know?
Melissa,
What my
useless.
major memory from French class is that in France, the colloquial nickname for a McDonald's is McDo.
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 Yeah, I was right. Hugo. So it
Hugo.
would be like Bug Hugo.
Bagugo. I like
Bug
that.
Hugo.
Targets many a market.
Right? That
Yeah.
does sound a little bit more like some kind of demonic language if that was all mashed into one word, like Beetlejuice is, right? Bagugo. Sounds great.
Say it 3 times and he appears.
Right?
Yeah. Like
So-
a lot of the characters.
Go ahead.
No, I was looking at our review show, the list of topics we've covered on the review show this year, and coming up with costumes for all of these because, I don't know, I need something to do with my brain. And, like, some of them already exist. Like, I know Sherlock Holmes is in the public domain, but I'm sure you can get a bagged Halloween costume that is labeled Hat Detective. You can get a
Sure.
Hercule Poirot costume labeled Mustache Detective.
Yeah. So when you say character, yeah, like is it that of like, hey, we watched Doctor No, so what is the generic version of James Bond?
Cocktail Spy.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Cocktail Spy. Trying to think of, like I'm thinking of the adjectives to like describe James Bond, and all of the ones I'm thinking of are like egotistical or womanizer, and it's just like womanizing spy. Right.
I like that. I like
Womanizing
the idea of
government
the bagged
employee.
costume the bagged costume being very judgmental of him. Like, we'll sell him. We'll sell you a jacket that approximates his tuxedo. We don't approve of all his ways.
Womanizing government employee.
I can't use the word spy. It's too close.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. Okay, so let's see here. Let's pull out some characters.
Yeah.
Um
I'll tell you what's been really delighting me this week is picturing going to a Spirit Halloween store, and I look at this bag, and in the bag is like a really flimsy polyester version of Christian Slater's jacket and hat from Mr. Robot, and the bag costume is labeled Hack Dad.
Yes. Hack Dad is great. Oh man. I want that to be my costume.
Hack Dad.
I would be the Hack Dad.
Dress the whole family up as the whole Hack family. We have everything you need, including black hoodie and heart-shaped sunglasses. Really, you get these? You got the family down.
Oh man, I'm trying to think of one for Hannibal.
Oh, I was going to call that costume Suspicious Dinner Party Host.
I would say that, or like murderous food critic. Something like that. I don't know. That's not a good one. God, what would Hannibal be? Let's see. I don't know. Because, like, there's not really another word for cannibal besides cannibal.
Two-eyed, zero-horned, walking around people eater.
Right, yeah. Sam says Voltron had officially licensed bag costumes and they were bad.
Oh my god, they're never good.
Oh yeah, but the copyright-free name would probably be insert color robot warrior or something.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Oh, man.
All right, looking through our review show episode list this year, we have such hot costumes as Board Game Bride, Butterfly Villain, Moth Accountant, Fake Chauffeur, Sandwich Bear. The kids love to be Sandwich Bear. Sandwich Bear is going to get all the costumes. Paddington.
Oh shit! Yeah. Sandwich Bear. or would he be like Jelly Bear?
Jelly Bear. Too close to Yogi Bear. Too close.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
He would be Picnic Bear though.
Right, Picnic Bear. Ooh, yeah, Sandwich Bear.
We have Tron, like a computer program. They're
Cyber Rebel.
Yeah, like cyber seems too obvious, I feel like, and it doesn't describe that they are a program.
Website Rebel.
Website Rebel,
really
that works.
Don't get it.
Website Rebel.
I really enjoyed watching the Wachowskis' beautiful film Go Fast Driver, and I think he's going to be a hot costume this year.
Well, Late Night Cook might sell might sell gangbusters here. Late Night Cook. It's not even funny. It's just like what?
Yeah, that's
what is this?
Is that a look anyone wants? I'll tell you what the fellas love to be this year. It's Nightclub Devil. Get the whole family together and you can be Stretch Scientist, Rock Brute, Fire Fella, and Lady You Can't See. The bag is empty.
Fireman
you
Robot.
Invite your sister. She's not coming to this party.
Like a Fireman Robot or something for Chromare.
Fireman robot. What are the generic Supermans? We covered the big fella himself. Is it?
I was thinking about that. I was thinking of just like superhero parent. It's like you've seen those costumes that have the like blow up section that it looks like you're riding a cowboy. It's that. It makes you look like Superman. It like blows up your chest or something, but then it has like a blow up sun next to
or
you.
A full Lois you carry in your arms. An inflatable Lois. She's attached to the arms of your suit. You can't put her down.
You're just sitting there like this the whole time.
Whole night.
Yeah. Let's see.
I also really, really like the idea of generic bagged Halloween costumes for Seinfeld.
What would you describe Jerry at? Like he's a I mean, it would be like late night comic. Like that. Like
yeah, I think it just says "What's the deal?" comic on the bag.
Yeah. What's the deal? I'm terrible at these.
A George Costanza costume just labeled "small petty man." It includes only a glasses and bald cap. And a calzone.
Yeah. Kramer's would be weird neighbor.
Yeah.
It would be eccentric neighbor.
Mm.
Did you see that commercial they did with Newman? Like they brought him back in his like postal uniform. This was like right when all of the stuff about the post offices like getting rid of all of their stuff. Yeah. I'm assuming it was the UPS or something. They made a commercial and they brought him back as Newman, and they're like, "Hey, I forget his name, but he's like, I'm so and so. You might know me as Newman," and blah 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 blah. And he like, but don't let them like. I've been a mailman for so long, and like I know how this works, and I'm not stop day or night, rain or shine. I am, And as he's saying that, in the back behind him, these people walk up and are uninstalling one of the mail things, and he's just like, "Hey, come back here with that."
Get him, Wayne Knight.
Yeah,
help us, Wayne Knight.
I don't know. Okay, so what else did we get?
What's our Lilu? Lilu's going to be a popular costume. But what is the Spirit Halloween? How do they describe it? Is this future redhead?
Tape girl.
Tape girl? I like Tape girl.
Because it's so just like, that's not even what she is, but you know exactly what it is.
Yeah. If somebody said tape girl to me, first I would ask if you said tank girl, and you were just mistaken. But then you'd say, no, I mean tape girl. Then I would think about Lilu, yeah.
Yeah, but then, like, that's not even descriptive of what she is. It's just descriptive of the costume.
The costume she's in for, like, one or two sequences of the film.
I'm trying to think of one for the characters in Black Hammer.
Oh, yeah. Well, they already are this. They already are like these generic versions of superheroes you already know.
Colonel Weird is pretty much that.
Yeah. A Barbalian costume named Battle Martian.
Yeah. Speaking of Colonel Weird, I think they've finally put out or are about to put out a Colonel Weird miniseries. I think the first issue just came out. It's written by Jeff Lemire with art by Tyler Crook, who did Harrow County.
Nice.
Yeah, so I saw that and I was like, oh, that looks good. I like the art on this. This is interesting.
Yeah. I gotta catch up on Black Hammer. Like when we finish the first 2 volumes, I'm so excited to read volume 3, and I just haven't done it yet.
You have to go back
Maybe
on
this
your own
weekend.
time, yeah, and just like one weekend, you know what? I'm just gonna sit here and read comics.
I should. If my tablet that I read comics on was more cooperative, I would do it more often. But it's so laggy.
Yeah. Jack is here in the chat and says, "Oh, I thought you were about to say. Speaking of Colonel Weird, Jack is in the chat.
It's your new nickname.
Colonel Weird. Yeah. Welcome, Jack. Happy Halloween to you and Sam. I haven't said
happy spooky times,
Halloween
friends.
yet. Yeah. We are trying to come up with generic costumes for the characters that we have covered on the review show and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Did you workshop these with Jack
No.
at all? No. Okay.
No, I haven't. Not this one. Oh, I did put a couple down.
Mr. Robot one.
Yeah.
That one was good.
Let me just repeat it now for the live audience. Jack, just picture the bagged Halloween costume with a really flimsy polyester Christian Slater jacket and hat in it. And the unlicensed name on the costume bag is Hack Dad.
It's so good.
It's great.
Hack Dad.
We got to get Hack Dad into stores for next year.
So good. Oh man.
Okay. I had one more that I wrote down earlier this week. A generic Doctor Doom costume called Dreadful Mask PhD.
Jared PhD. Or what's the dentist one? Isn't it like DDS or something like that?
Wait, hold on. I have to stop and ask you this because I realized I'm not entirely sure. Doctor Doom is a PhD, right? Or is he an MD? What type of doctor is Doctor Doom? I presumed he was just always an academic PhD, but I realized I've never had this confirmed.
Type of doctor is Doctor Doom. Let's see, from Marvel
It
fandom.
It says PhD, but PhD in what?
Let's see. Was a Latvian politician? Blah blah blah.
Yes.
Making potential candidate for Sorcerer Supreme. Order. Blah blah blah. Does it say really years? Oh. State University in Helgum offered Victor a scholarship while attending classes there. He met Reed Richards. They developed a dislike. Hey?
Hold on. So I am here on marvel.fandom.com, and on the wiki page for Doctor Doom, there is a list of aliases.
Yep.
Such as Doom, the Master, Invincible Man, Hans, the Great Destroyer, the Damned, Destroyer of Worlds, Doom the Destroyer, God Emperor Doom, just God, Dr. Iron Doom, President Metal Man,
Vicky Boy,
Doom Rex, Vicky Boy. Who calls him this? I call him that?
That's probably someone like Spider-Man. Let me see.
Yes.
What does that little footnote say?
Oh my god,
18,
this is so much.
18, where'd it go? From Marvel Knights Spider-Man, number 20. Yep. That would be Peter Parker saying, "Hey there, Vicky Boy."
Way to know it.
It's Spider-Man's sense of humor.
One week on the show, we just have to read the entire Wikipedia article on Doctor Doom.
Even though Doom was expelled from college before finishing his only known higher studies, he claims to possess multiple doctorates. I looked up the word doctorate.
He made his own university in Latveria, and they give him any doctorate he wants. He's got a PhD in film studies. You see, they still rate him write the dissertation, so he just knows a lot about like Ingmar Bergman. It doesn't come in.
What's the abbreviation for PhD? Is it PH.D? Is that how you spell it?
Big P, little h, period, big D, period.
$31. That.
I really wish I could do something that would put some fancy letters after my name.
Iron Man number 8.
Because just having a BA in English really doesn't cut it.
Yes. Okay, let's see. We're looking up Infamous Iron Man. Good thing I have Marvel Unlimited. Infamous Iron Man. There's the series, and I want number 8. Here it is. Okay, I'm reading the comic now. This is by Brian Michael Bendis and Alex Mayleave.
Thank you.
Iron Man. I'm wondering if I can just catch it here. I think it's because this is the series. Is this the series I'm thinking about when he became Iron Man? Don't know. I'm probably not gonna find this right away. Oh, wait, there's Dr. Doom. He's probably just gonna end up saying something like, "Might I remind you that I have a doctorate or I have multiple doctorates."
Yeah.
I don't know.
Doctorate and wearing a cool tunic.
Right?
I'm just looking at pictures of Dr. Doom, and they're all the same because he doesn't really change outfits. But it's a pretty good time. Here's a picture of him arm wrestling with Kang, which I hope will be adapted into the Marvel Cinematic Universe films, Kevin.
Yeah,
please,
Kevin.
for me. Kevin!
What other celebrities do you feel like you can call by their first name?
I don't think I've ever said it out loud, but in my head, I almost exclusively call Daniel Craig Cranial.
Cranial?
Because I tried to spoonerize his name once, and Dieg just doesn't sound like anything, but the first part of the name does, so I just call him Cranial.
That's a good name.
Yeah.
Cranial. I don't know if I'm ever gonna find this. Oh, hey, there's
We don't have to answer
Doctor
this
Strange.
now.
Yeah,
we could talk about something else, like Corn Knight. Or Moon Knight.
What is Corn Knight? You have this written down on our notes.
I'm just repeating an anecdote from another podcast I heard because I thought you would like to hear it. On the latest episode of Obsessed with Joseph Scrimshaw, he's talking to his wife Sarah about this holiday they had where she grew up in somewhere in Minnesota, I think. It was the night before Halloween. They called it Corn Night. And kids, they wouldn't dress up, but they would just go around from house to house with like a bag full of dried corn, like dried harvest corn, and they'd like knock on the door and yell like Corn Night and then throw dried corn at the door and run away.
Weird.
For like, the spirit of the harvest, I guess. Corn Night.
I guess.
Would you participate in Corn Night? Because I would.
Yeah. Why not? Just go throw corn at people's houses.
God, it's been so long since I've touched dried corn.
What is that a thing you yearn for? Do you yearn for the touch, for the feeling of dried corn?
I just realized now that yes, I do. Because think about when you're a little kid and you go to a pumpkin patch, and instead of having like a sandbox, they just have a corn box. Like it's just a big wooden box on the ground full of dried corn, and you're a toddler, and your mom sits you down there in the corn box to play with the corn. And like I haven't done this since I was like 10 years old. And I just miss digging my hands into a large vat of dried harvest corn. It makes me feel safe.
No, I do have an odd memory with that though. It's nothing like that. At my grandpa's ranch, he had a bunch of wild geese and turkeys, and he would go out and feed them. And so he had this giant trash can filled with just corn kernels. And he would just get a big like scoop of them and he'd just walk outside and just start scattering them. Just out there, and they would all come and fly in and eat and all that
I want to
stuff. And
scatter food.
It was corn night indeed.
Corn night.
That, yeah. Jack says, Melissa, if you are listening to the very amusing podcast with Carlisle Weisel, have you heard the latest episode with the creepy Olumel voicemail?
Oh my god!
I don't know.
Oh my god!
Saying that right.
This is a lot of context I would have to explain to you, Kyle. But no, Jack, I haven't listened to it yet. I've been binging a bunch of Halloween podcasts. And basically November 1st, I'm going to get back to the other stuff in my subscription feed. So then I will hear the updates on Carly and her fight against Olumel.
I have no idea what this podcast is.
It's a podcast about theme parks from a theme park journalist. And do you know Duffy the Disney bear?
I know of Duff Beer.
Oh, okay, that's also good. But over in Tokyo Disneyland, I think, is where this started. They invented like a new Disney character that was supposed to be exclusive to that park. And it's just like this cute little teddy bear in a sailor outfit named Duffy.
I'm looking him up.
And, you know, part of the canon story is that like he was a gift from Minnie to Mickey. And so now he's spawned all these side characters. Like he has all these friends. And they've stopped being like exclusive to an international park. And now you can find them all over the place.
Well, I guess that's just Build-A-Bear. I thought it was a Darth Vader version of him. But nope, I guess not.
But yeah, he's not popular in the American parks. None of him or his friends are. But one of his new friends is a turtle named Olumel, who started as a exclusive to Disney's Hawaiian resort Aulani. And now he is traveling around and visiting other parks, basically meaning you can go there and buy his merchandise. And this theme park journalist does not enjoy Olumel the turtle.
He looks kind of scary. He has a creepy face.
I like all these guys visually, but I don't really know anything about their personalities.
Oh. Like, he looks like he'd be fine as, like, a cartoon. Like, I see, like, a cartoon picture of him here, and he looks fine. But the, like, real-life one, his face just looks... something about it. Looks strange.
I understand.
His eyes are too close together or something.
Yeah.
Weird.
Oh, well, there's your update on
that's
what's going on
Olumel.
over in theme parks.
I thought that
I'm
was
excited to hear
like,
whatever this voicemail is.
ancient Cthulhu offshoot thing. Like, I am Olumel. Worship
No, it's
me.
it's a cute turtle who plays the ukulele at a Hawaiian resort.
I am Olumel, worship me.
Yeah, the Disney cult turtle.
Right. Interesting.
Let's talk about Moon Knight.
Moon Knight.
Since we talked about Corn Knight.
Different nights. I do have to say the last thing on Corn Knight I was going to say is it would be fun to dress up in a suit of armor made entirely out of corn. Different types of corn.
Man. Corn Knight. That's like a small farming community's vigilante
Yeah,
to fight
indeed.
against, I guess, corn-based crime.
Mm-hmm. Fight against the big pesticide, like big
Yeah.
pharma, but for
Or like,
pesticides.
or if this was a sci-fi
Big
story,
pests.
maybe there's some aliens down there making crop circles, and he's like, "Not on my corn. You're gonna have to deal with Corn Knight."
It's Corn Knight and his sidekick Scarecrow.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that? What I think it was a Disney movie, but you remember the movie Scarecrow, and he was this like vigilante kind of character.
I'm not sure if I do remember this.
Let me see if I can.
I know
Look it
Scarecrow
up.
Jonathan Crane.
No,
Scarecrow.
I think Disney Scarecrow.
Movie?
Yeah, yeah. This is it. Let's see here. Scarecrow of Romney Marsh, Dr. Sin, alias the Scarecrow.
I don't know this.
Let's see. IMDb. No.
Oh, Scarecrow of Romney Marsh.
Yeah.
Oh my god, what? He's like a sad sack man. Wow, he's so sad. Well, I guess he's sad because that's the way they stitched his face onto the sack that is his head.
Yeah.
Goodness. Wow, this
let's
is
see what this is.
Dr. Sin, alias the Scarecrow?
So here's the Dr. Sin Wikipedia page.
Okay.
The Reverend Dr. Christopher Sin is the smuggler.
Reverend.
Yeah. Is the smuggler hero of a series of novels by Russell Thorndike. The first book, Dr. Sin, A Tale of the Romney Marsh, was published in 1915. The story idea came from smuggling in the 18th century Romney Marsh, where brandy and tobacco were brought in at night by boat from France to avoid high tax. Minor battles were fought, sometimes at night, between gangs of smugglers, such as the Hawkhurst Gang and the Revenue, supported by the army and local militias in the South Kent and the West Sussex.
So this is just like a dry historical drama that somewhere in, I suppose, the 1960s, Disney was like, let's make a film out of this starring a man with a sack on his head, and the kids will love it.
Yeah, so the Scarecrow of Romney Marsh from 1963 was produced for the Walt Disney Wonderful World of Color TV series. It was shot on location in England and was directed by James Nielsen, blah, blah, blah. Let's see here. Blah, blah, blah. Doubled as church parish. No one needs to know that stuff.
I will tell you, I'm doing a Google image search for this, and I'm finding a lot of collectibles and fan art.
Yeah. Part 1 dealt with the arrival of Governor Pugh, who had been ordered by the War Office to smash the smuggling ring and prevent the Scarecrow from resurrecting a dim church man, I guess that's a location, captured by a naval press gang as bait to trap the Scarecrow. Part 2 depicted the Scarecrow dealing with the traitorous Joe Ransley. Part 3 showed how the Scarecrow rescued Harry Banks and American Simon Bates from Governor Pugh's clutches in Dover Castle. Yeah, so I guess it's just this like smuggling drama, what these gangs are smuggling, and I guess the later of this gang is this reverend who dresses up as a scarecrow.
This is wild.
I remember this because my dad liked it. It's one of his favorites, but it's one of those like very rare Disney movies.
Yeah.
It's hard to get, hard to find. He was hoping
I've
it would
never
be on
heard
Disney
of this.
Plus. but it's not on Disney Plus as far as I know, at least
What?
when it launched.
Oh, hold. Well, maybe it's there now because now I have to see this thing. Disney Plus. Disney Plus. Friendly neighborhood Disney Plus. Come on. All right, show me a scarecrow. Scarecrow.
But I like
What the
I
heck?
remember it. I saw it once or twice. I liked it a lot, but it was just really creepy. Like
It sounds creepy. Yeah, there's
yeah.
not like Disney Plus is absolutely nothing. It's like, do you want to watch Phil of the Future? Like, not related, but maybe, I guess. Truly. No, the number one, you type in Scarecrow and the number one result is The Mandalorian because they know that's all anybody is here to see.
Yeah. Which we'll get to that in just a sec, but let's go back to
Yeah.
Moon Knight.
We've started talking about Moon Knight 3 times. Yes.
Oscar Isaac might play Moon Knight. It seems like he's in
Yes.
talks. It's not official.
Yeah.
I saw another place say that. Of course, I blank on his name right now. Daveed Diggs was also in talk to play him.
Ooh.
Which would be interesting indeed. So yeah, they are. I think an official announcement is coming soon that we're gonna be like, hey, we've found our Moon Knight. It's gonna be starring this person.
It should be coming up soon. We've got our She-Hulk. We've got our Miss Marvel. He was the third in that.
Well,
You know.
I think actually She-Hulk was refuted.
What? They went back on that?
Because it was who? Let's see who.
Because I feel like I saw that a lot of places. It was well, I was under the impression it was Tatiana Maslany.
I think it might be her, Tatiana Maslany, She-Hulk. No, not concept art. No, let's see. That says is to play. There was someone that was like, it came out that they were going to do like or play She-Hulk. Yeah, see, update shortly after Deadline's story on Tatiana Maslany's She-Hulk casting was published. It was retweeted by Mark Ruffalo. So this isn't it. There was somewhere else that said that this was not true, and that she refuted it. Oh, here we go. This is from sci-fi.com, I believe. Then they spell it weird with the SYFY. Sci-fi.
Yes.
Tatiana Maslany refutes She-Hulk casting report. Lead role in Disney Plus series not actually a thing. The Canadian born orphan black star recently told an Ontario newspaper that she's not been cast after all as the star of Marvel's upcoming She-Hulk series at Disney Plus. So, I don't know. It says, quote, hold on a sec. I'm getting a call from my roommate. Let's see.
Oh.
Hi. Okay. Sure. I can go look. Oh, okay. Thank you. Cool. Bye. Okay. Yeah. So I guess she refuted it.
Interesting, because I went back to the article that we had posted in our Discord, and it was from Vulture, who I feel like is a more reputable site.
I don't know. Yeah, it's strange though, but we'll see if I mean it. could just be downplaying it
Yeah.
so that she can like, hey, let me focus on this. Who knows?
Maybe she's only playing Jennifer Walters,
Yeah.
not She-Hulk.
Well, I need to go check on something for my roommate very fast.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I will I guess put us on a be right back screen, and we
Okay.
will be right back.
You got it.
Back over to live. Hey everyone, we are back. I just had to go do a thing really fast. My roommate left some chocolate out, and she wanted to make sure that the dogs did not
Oh,
get
good.
it.
Yes.
But she said, "Help yourself." So I
Ooh.
brought one.
What is it?
It is. Let's see. Well, I guess my camera is not in auto focus because of the lens that I have, but it is a dark hazelnut crisp.
Whoa.
I forgot to look and see who actually made it, but I'm gonna see what this tastes like. I'm hesitant for the hazelnut. But it looks like a Kit Kat, like
Ooh.
a piece, like an individual Kit Kat section.
It's fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Good.
It's milk chocolate. The
Yeah.
hazelnuts on the inside are kind of like the crispy rice that you would get in like a crunch bar thing.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. That's good. That's good. I don't think there's enough of them. Like I would kind of like a little bit more substance, but they're there.
There they are.
It's good.
Man, I used to have like Reese's to eat. I don't have an exotic candy.
Oh well.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. I'm looking forward to additional news on the Disney Plus series. I'm not somebody who's like super following casting. I think I'm interested in it right now because there's so little news of any other kind. It's like, yeah, sure, I'll be super into who's going to play a show, the lead character in a show that won't come out for 3 years. What else do I have to do? Come up with names for generic bagged Halloween costumes.
Right.
And I can only do that for so long.
It's good.
I do remember that I think it was rumored or somebody just theorized it and it like became kind of a rumor that Shia LaBeouf might have been playing Moon Knight. And I did like the concept of that because he's kind of a kook in real life, and Moon Knight is kind of a kook of a character, and I liked that concept.
Indeed.
But Oscar Isaac, he's exciting.
Yeah, and he has that like gruffness to him, where he can look mean. He can be that like Batman like. But then he can also be smoother and suaver and more charming. I think that would go good with the whole like multiple personality thing. Like if he can do what God, what's his name? James McAvoy did in Split, right? Where he just has all of these different characters. I think that's the name of the film.
Yes.
Something like that would be neat. Speaking of Disney Plus, though, new episodes of Mandalorian started today. I watched
the baby show.
Episode 1. Yeah, the Baby Yoda show. Late night with Baby Yoda. Now, you're not as big of a Star Wars fan as I am. Did you watch Season 1?
I did watch season 1 of The Mandalorian. Okay. I liked it. Although I do have to confess, if it wasn't for the fact that Star Wars is such a huge part of the pop cultural zeitgeist and I feel left out if I don't keep up with it, I don't know if I'd be watching the show this much on my own spare time. I respect it, but I don't know if it's exactly the show for me.
The Mandalorian, I think, is a really interesting show because to the populace at large, yeah, it's just the Baby Yoda show. We can get to see him, coo and do all stuff. He's like, oh, it's so cute.
Season 2 promises more cooing.
Yeah. Like, that's really all they're there for. Like, even I have some Baby Yoda underwear. It has his picture on it. It's really funny. But to someone like me who's also a Star Wars nerd, there's things in there that they're slowly connecting it to all of these Easter eggs and stuff, and it's just like,
I know the ice cream maker.
That's this thing. That's that thing. The ice cream maker.
See, I don't really care about actual Star Wars lore. I just care about stuff like the holiday special and the ice cream maker.
I don't know what you mean by the ice cream maker.
Okay, so way back in Empire Strikes Back, where they're evacuating Cloud City, there's an extra who runs past in the background, and he's carrying what you can imagine the production team imagined would just look like kind of a sci-fi type object. But then, as video quality got better, people were like, that is a Hamilton Beach ice cream maker.
That's funny.
So people have been wondering, like, what the heck was that even? Like, what did you think that was? In your minds, what sci-fi object specifically is this Hamilton Beach ice cream maker? And then in the first or second episode of The Mandalorian, when that director gives Mando the metal bars, and he gives it to him in that little device, that is an ice cream maker. They're like, we're bringing the ice cream maker back. We're going to actually make it an object that characters handle, and it is somewhat plot relevant.
That's funny.
That's another character I enjoy besides Baby.
Yeah. Like I guess they have stuff like that. There's the whole dark saber thing, which is that black samurai sword looking lightsaber thing. Like, that has a whole history. That features prominently in the Star Wars Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels cartoons. You learn who that belongs to and stuff like that. So to see that show up is just like, oh shit, like, what's going on here with this stuff? So yeah, I like that. Episode 1, I'm not gonna spoil things because it's still day 1 that this came out. I thought it was really funny because another thing that this show does really well is they are pulling from westerns and samurai stories and stuff, and it's really, really showcasing that.
It is.
And
yes,
I think the people who like more of the action side of Star Wars are often like, this is too slow. Like, what is this? And it's like, well, because this is getting back to Star Wars's roots, where it's like they're basically telling a samurai story here. Like, that's what Darth Vader is. He's a samurai gone bad. And all of that stuff. Like, I remember there being some samurai movie where the opening Darth Vader scene is like shot for shot a remake of
the Hidden Fortress.
Yeah, something else. But yeah, so it's stuff like that, and I love that, where they can do like, oh, this is a parody of Samurai 7, or this is a thing like that. Season 2, episode 1 features a character that is wearing Mandalorian armor. That I guess slight minor spoilers, is not a Mandalorian. He's just wearing it. But he takes off the helmet, which is why you know he's not a real Mandalorian.
Yeah, because that is not the way.
That is not the way,
that
indeed.
Lady told us.
And it's Timothy Oliphant, who is the actor playing that character. And you very quickly learn that he is the marshal of this mining town.
Again? Isn't that mostly what that man has done in his career?
Which is I was like, this is Deadwood. He's the sheriff in a mining town in Deadwood, which I just watched. And I was just like, is that Timothy Olyphant? And it's like, yes, it is. And I was just like, this is great. They're fans of Deadwood. Like, like it's pulling from all of these different westerns and samurai stories, and they're pulling in actors that have done them and stuff like that. I'm like, this is great. I love this. How it's just paying homage to all of that stuff. I'm just like, this is phenomenal.
I do really appreciate that.
Good stuff,
I think my favorite personal parts of Star Wars are, I like when it's kind of a fun, wisecracking swashbuckler adventure full of roguery. And I like very big cities and very big buildings and unnecessarily large rooms inside spaceships, which I'm not getting with the very small scope of this show. And I respect its very small scope of this like lone wolf and cub story of them traveling from little town to little town. But I just want to look at a Coruscant skyscraper, really, or go inside like an Empire starship that just has one very, very, very big room that you can fall down in. That's the part of Star Wars that calls to me. The scale of the thing. I like it when Star Wars is big and they're like, we've got a new Star Wars show for you. It's extremely small.
Which I like, because there is so much in the Star Wars universe that is interesting and cool, and just like why aren't they showing more of this thing? And they've just stuck to one family. Like, here's the Skywalkers. You know, here's what they do. And it's like, you have all these bounty hunters. You have more religions out there than just the Jedi and the Sith. Like, you have, there's so many planets, so many species and all that stuff. Like, show me something else. And this is doing that, but still being like, hey, those of you who watched the cartoon, remember the Darksaber? Here it is. Which is really funny because, if I'm not mistaken, Jon Favreau voices one of the characters in the cartoon.
Oh.
He is a Mandalorian, and he is the leader of Death Watch, which is a terrorist cell within Mandalore. Kind of like a right-wing extremist thing in Mandalore, but it's not. Is it? I think it's his family that is like his character's family is the owner of that Darksaber. So then to know that Jon Favreau created this show and is directing a lot of it and writing a lot of it, and I think he voiced one of the Mandalorians in season 1, 2. And it was just like, well, duh, the Darksaber would show up, stuff like that. So it's good. I like that stuff. So good start to season 2.
Good. I'm sure I will watch it because I hate to feel left behind.
Yeah, it's one I think I eventually, once all of them are out, I will go back and binge watch them all, right? In like an afternoon or so.
Yeah.
So usually like 40 minutes, 30 minutes at the least. They're not super long, though. They're good stuff.
Yeah.
They are good stuff. Melissa. Did you see this whole thing about this 3D tour house that I was posting about in our Discord?
Yeah, I think Sam put this the original 3D walkthrough in the Discord, and I looked at it just like during a workday break, and I think like 15 minutes had gone by before I realized what happened because the house kept going.
This was wild. I saw this on Twitter, and someone posted and was like, "Hey, this is a good contender for Game of the Year." And so like clicked on it, and it was a house listing, and I was like, "Okay, it must be the 3D tour that they're talking about. What are they up to?" And yeah, I went in that thing, and I got lost in that house, and this thing went viral. And all sorts of stuff. This whole story, like just surrounding this house, was fascinating. That just the fact that it went viral, and then that you go inside this house and there's junk everywhere.
Yes.
Like it's just filled with stuff, and then you go down in the basement, and it's a labyrinth.
Right. So you start the virtual walkthrough, and you're in just like a living room upstairs. There's a kitchen, there's a bedroom, and you're like, oh, this is kind of messy. That's unfortunate that these owners weren't able to clean up their house before the walkthrough was photographed. But that's okay. You do what you need to do when you're cleaning a house. Rough times for everyone. And you do start to notice all of these odd details, like the strange objects placed all over the place, just like eerie portraits on the wall. Like not super eerie, but somebody pointed out that there's a picture of these two men standing next to each other, and they must be brothers or something, but they look so alike. It's almost like it's one man and his clone.
Yeah.
And then you go down into the basement, and here you are, a humble human being thinking this is a normal basement, but no, it keeps going. And I walked into this room, and I'm like, okay, this is a storage room. You guys just have a lot of stuff, and then I see just like boxes of DVDs with the DVD case taped to the outside as a label. And then there's 100 more of these and 100 more beyond that.
And there's 3 more rooms of that stuff on just DVDs. And then they get to like toys and books. And it's just like, this thing is huge underneath this house. Like the floor plan is ginormous.
Yeah, which boggled me that it had not only that there was so much space, so many objects crammed into the space, and the owners of the house have like an eBay reselling business, which explains all of these things and how they are organized. But yeah, the house just, why are there so many rooms? Why does it keep going? Whose basement goes back that far?
So I posted an article that I found about this in our Discord. This was wild too. I was like, oh my god, this house gets even stranger. And it's on a website I'm not familiar with, waxy.org. And it's written by Andy Bayo, I believe is how you say the name. I'm not sure. But yeah, skimming through this article, they're like telling the story of how this thing went viral and stuff, and then they got to interview the person who's selling the house, and they're talking about the history of the house. And apparently the house was raided in 2014, and like a number of the family members were all charged with like tax evasion and where was it? Where does it say what they were charged with? Internet sleuths unearthed several news articles from 2014 outlining how police discovered thousands of stolen items being sold online during a raid at that address. The results of a 4-year investigation resulting in criminal charges for 4 family members living and working at the house. But it didn't add up. If they were convicted for organized crime, why was there still so much inventory at the house with products released as recently as last year? Skipping ahead a bit, it said he's nearing the end of a 7-year probation period for his organized crime charges under the RICO Act, as well as tax evasion.
Yeah, and the article gave us the storyline that this man had been acquiring goods for resale from another party, and that party had been selling them, and this guy didn't know they were stolen, but what did feel kind of iffy about it never did anything
Yeah, he'd
until
been
law
buying them in
enforcement
bulk
was
at like
like,
flea
yeah,
markets and stuff like that, and was just like, huh, this is odd that they're so cheap, but oh well, you know.
yeah.
But apparently the house used to be a church. The original building was created in the 50s. It was built on to in the 70s, and that's why it's so big. But yeah, they were using this as like the warehouse for this online internet reseller business. And eventually, once this went viral, people had moved this into VR. They ported it into VR. They started making YouTube videos. They started speed running it to see how they could get in and out, you know, of all of that stuff. This whole thing reminded me of. Did you have those I Spy books?
Yes.
That you opened up and it was just filled with junk. And it's like, find 3 tacks. And it's like, find 6 dice. Find, you know, stuff like that. They started making scavenger hunts and all that stuff. Apparently, the 3D tour was eventually taken down because in one of the DVD shelves.
No, I think what the article says is that you can still get to the 3D tour, but it's not like, clearly linked on the real estate website yet. You can still find it somewhere. And they took down the section of the 3D tour that would get you to this weird bathtub room. And the reason why they have a weird room that's just entirely a sunken tub is because this building used to be a church, and this is where they did baptisms. But yeah, the people are obsessed with this tub. I didn't even get to the tub when I was playing around on the walkthrough. This was a surprise
talking
to
about
me.
the tub. It is now impossible to get to the bathtub, according to the article. But the reason why they took it down was because in one of the DVD sections they had a whole section for Girls Gone Wild DVDs, and they were uncensored and stuff. So it's just like, we don't want children finding this.
Do
doing
you have to walk
but
past the Girls Gone Wild to get to the bathtub room? So we're just cutting off that wing of the house.
This thing was wild, but this thing was fascinating. Because it really was like this big scavenger hunt.
And it seems joyous to me. Like, people weren't like making fun of this house. They were just like, wow, what a unique experience.
Right? Yeah.
This has brought joy to me.
It brought joy in that way, but being inside that thing is kind of creepy. Like, there's just so much stuff that you just get lost. Like, I've played a number of walking simulator games is what they're called, where you just walk around, you explore things, you read notes and figure out what happened and stuff like that. And it felt like that, where like I could spend hours in this thing just exploring and reading notes and stuff like that. Like, I love that. It's great.
This is what I aspire my own home to be like, not in that it is a super crowded labyrinth, but just in that it is a bunch of details where, like, the longer you look at something, you're like, oh, wait, I never noticed that before.
Yeah.
Like, it was also, like, growing up, I was really inspired by, like, I had this interior design book full of these, like, maximalist apartments with just, like, toys and action figures and postcards and stuff covering every inch of these walls, and I loved it. And then one of my favorite high school teachers, it was my journalism teacher, and he taught, he was in charge of the yearbook and the newspaper. So the classroom he was in had all of these different clippings all over the wall, and like I would be in there for a whole semester, and at the end of the semester I'd like notice something that I never noticed before. So I'd try and like pack my own living spaces full of tiny weird details.
It's good stuff.
A couple years ago,
a lot of fun.
When I was still living at my parents' house, Jams and I took both our DVD collections and combined them on these 2 big shelves, and we'd have friends over. We'd take them over to these shelves and we'd point at it and we'd say, one of these DVD cases has a surprise in it. You have to find it. So you'd have people just like pulling DVDs off the shelves, like in a movie where one of the books will like open up a secret staircase. Yeah, if you went to the Saturday Night Live Best of Christopher Walken clip DVD, you opened it up, it was full of small pebbles and no disc.
Okay.
So these are the kinds of secrets that I enjoy having in a home. And it is delightful to see a home that's full of so many secrets.
It was good. I was fascinated by this whole thing. I'm like, that's one of the things that I love the internet for.
Yeah.
Like, it just, every now and again, something will pop up, and it's just like, what an experience. I'm glad we all got to, like, look at this thing. Because it's so good. It's fun. It was a good week.
Yeah, I think that boosted some spirits.
Indeed.
Yeah, we needed it.
Indeed. Melissa, do you want to finish off with one more Halloween question?
Yeah.
Do you have one that we could do fast here?
Yeah. Oh, what are you thinking?
Let's see.
So I have two written down here.
Let's do the last movie that scared you.
Yeah, I'm curious about this.
Let's see. It's a tough one for me because you guys know that I'm not a big horror fan. I don't really watch horror movies. Oh God. Trying to think. What scary stuff have I watched? Because we haven't really watched scary stuff for the review show that has like genuinely scared me.
Yeah, it's more just eeriness or sort of heaviness like Hannibal has, where it's a bunch of serial killers.
Yeah. I think maybe the closest thing to it would be Annihilation when we watched that thing.
Okay.
Like,
yeah, I understand that.
That's horrific in its own way, and it like
yes.
Yeah, like that's kind of freaky. Think about and that stuff. But I do have to give a shout out to that opening scene in Typewriter that we just watched.
Yeah.
That it's strange because like the lights were on, it wasn't really a ghost, there wasn't really some like bloody disfigured like head is backwards, they're up on the ceiling thing, right? Like it was this very, very well done, strategically executed like camera pans down, you see something you don't want to see, it pans back up, you see something else you don't want to see, and it's just like, no thank you, I am done. But
5 minutes in, I am done.
Yeah, no, like that I think was a good one, but the thing I think that really, really freaked me out recently was in Hannibal with the girl whose skin was coming off.
Yes.
Holy shit. That was terrifying.
Yeah, that's an intense episode.
That one is I don't want to think about that because it's so similar to what was happening in the Typewriter 1 too. Because you first see her, she's under the bed. She goes running out. They try to grab her, and just the whole skin from her arms falls off, and it's disgusting. And she goes running off, and you still don't know like who is that? What is that? You know?
Yeah.
And then the next time you see her, she's underneath the main character's bed, just chilling there. And it's just like, what the fuck, dude? This is not good. Do not do this. No bueno. No. So, I think that is the last thing that genuinely scared me.
That's good. That's a good pick. I can't think of anything. And I am not a big horror person. I think I'm a medium horror person. I like it. I just don't have as many opportunities to watch it. But I don't get freaked out by things. Like I recognize in the moment. I feel things in the moment, but 2 hours later after my friend has gone home and I'm like getting ready for bed, it doesn't stick with me. And it used to do that. I think after I graduated college, I just stopped getting scared of things.
Graduated from horror university. You're done. You've seen it all.
I think it's because I was so weirded out being at college just because I always had roommates, but I had a string of roommates. My first 3 years at college, the roommates I had didn't live that far away. Mm-hmm. And so they were frequently at home. So I would spend a lot of the weeknights there at my dorm because I went home every weekend also, but I was there on the weekdays. I'd be there alone, and I was not used to that coming from a house with a family in it. And I'm in an unfamiliar place. I'm in a very sparse little room that's not what I'm used to. So I think that made me uneasy. And I remember having a lot more what's that kind of nights when I was in college. And I think, after that, I just got done with it. And it might come back. I feel like this is a very hubristic thing to say. I'm not proud I'm not scared of anything, and I don't think I am. I just don't remember the last time I felt scared by anything.
Jack says, same. I think the real world is scarier than anything fictitious, minus creepy dolls / puppets.
Yeah. And see, I don't have horror things that bother me either. I've never had a problem with dolls or puppets. I'm not afraid of spiders or snakes or needles or heights or clowns. I can get bummed out real easy, but I don't get scared by anything.
Gotcha. Good stuff. Last thing I want to end on, I know we said we'd wrap it up on that thing. I have to comment that I have this uncanny, not ability, but just coincidence. I think I don't know. So I've mentioned before, one of my favorite podcasts is the Rooster Teeth podcast. And I like it enough where I was just like, you know what? I'm going to listen to every episode they've ever made.
Ooh.
And the company has been around for 15 years. So they're on episode 600 something, right? I've gotten through most of them.
Wow.
I started on YouTube and I went back to their earliest video podcasts, which started at episode 100 and was inconsistent until episode 185. And so I watched from 185 onwards, and I think I'm 14 episodes behind from where I first started watching the podcast in hey, I like this show, I'm gonna keep watching it. So I'm almost caught up with that, and then I think I'm a month or so behind on their most recent ones. But then they have their first 200 or so just audio only ones that I'm slowly catching up on. But something about this podcast specifically, it always mirrors whatever I'm doing in real life. It's kind of strange, or not what I'm doing, but I will listen to a recent episode of the podcast, and they will have a certain guest on. And for example, they had this one girl on who's a scientist, and they just started to ask her all of these dumb science things, so if we built a giant treadmill, could a plane take off from this treadmill, from standing still, because the ground is moving, but like they ask her all sorts of dumb stuff like that. And then I just happened to listen to like episode 53, right? And it happens to be the first time that same person was on the show. Like, I listened to that like the same day or the same week, and it's just like, this is an episode from like 6 years ago, and it just happens to be the same thing. I was listening to a more recent one this week, and they happened to mention the movie Fright Night, which you mentioned last week. So it's just like, Melissa just mentioned this. Like, this is weird that they're mentioning that.
Now I'm in on it.
Yeah, and then I went back and I watched one of the like 14 or so that I still need to catch up on, and it happens to be their Halloween one. I was like, it's Halloween week. Like, what is this? But this happens so consistently where like, oh, like a new video game is coming out, and the one the old one that I'm listening to, they're talking about the old, number 3 in the series is coming out now, but the one that they're talking about is like number 2 is out now, and it's just like, this is weird. Like, why is this happening all the time? I have no idea, but it's haunting me. So
that's really specific.
Yeah,
that's. Do you know the Blink episode of Doctor Who?
No, I haven't seen a single thing of Doctor Who.
It's a one-shot episode. Like, I barely know Doctor Who, but I've seen this a couple times because it's a standalone story that's like pretty easy to show people. It's just a one-off entertaining adventure.
Yeah.
And like this woman keeps finding all of these, like, she's a friend who works at like a video store. And her friend's like, I keep finding these weird DVD Easter eggs. I don't understand what they mean. And the lady's like, well, what DVDs are they on? And the friend hands her like a list of Easter eggs. And she's like, this is every DVD that I own in my personal collection. And it's because, like, this is the doctor from the future who is trying to specifically send a message back to her. It's like he planted DVD Easter eggs on all the DVDs he knew that she owned so that then she could go and string them together and she would get his warning about a space monster.
That's funny. Yeah. Like, I have no idea what it means, if it's some kind of sign, or they just talk about the same things over and over again.
Could be that.
Yeah.
You just all live lives on the same track.
Yeah, indeed. But let's see. Let's do a little bit of housekeeping, and then we'll wrap things up here. If you guys did not know, we have multiple podcasts. You guys can find out more information on our website, thewhatnauts.com. We just wrapped up our spooky month on the Whatnauts review show. We covered all sorts of horror shows and comics and stuff like that. So you guys can go check out all of that stuff. We did Hannibal, like we mentioned. We did a horror show from India, which was on Netflix, called Typewriter. That was a lot of fun. Go check out all of that stuff. We're also on your favorite podcasting platform of choice. Just type in the Whatnauts. All of our shows will pop up right there. If you guys like what we do, patreon.com/the Whatnauts is where you can support us for as little as $1 a month. We have a $3 tier after that with all kinds of exclusive content. Let's see, big shout out to our Patreon supporters at the $5 tier. So thank you, Sam, who has been in the chat here.
Thanks,
with
Sam.
us. Thank you so much for helping us out. It means a lot. It means the world to us. So thank you. Thank you so much. I think that wraps us up for housekeeping, which then wraps us up for the show. So, Melissa, where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Wilkywit. That's WILKYWIT. And as you hear this, as it is released, my other new podcast has launched. So you can listen to... Thank you. You can listen to Saturday Morning Obscurities. This is me and, as aforementioned, my brother Jams. We talk about obscure old kids shows.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I'm excited to check it out. And you have 2 out right now, right?
Yes, yeah, we're going to be releasing twice a month in that terminology of bi-monthly. But to start you off, we're going to release 2 episodes this week.
Cool. Good stuff. I'm excited. You guys can find me at Kyle Springer on Twitter and Instagram. If you guys want to stay up to date with our show, we are at the Whatnauts on Twitter. Go like, share, subscribe. Tell a foe, tell a friend, tell your parents, whoever you need to. Go do all of that stuff. We are at 95 subscribers on YouTube. 5 away, down to 1 hand. I can count them on 1 hand. So please help us spread the word. We are hoping to get 100 subscribers on our YouTube before the end of the year. That would mean the world to us, so please help spread the word. But yeah, that's about it. I say we get out of here. This has been episode 118 of the Whatnauts Captain's Log. We will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.